my dear children. Welcome to another awesome day with amazing possibilities. So with another brand new and bright day, I'm Dr. Vani right in front of you on behalf of Vedantu for another super cool, super amazing and an awesome session yet again on human physiology. So this is the third session on human physiology. We've already done the circulatory system. We've done the digestion and absorption part 1, and we are going to be doing the digestion and absorption part 2 in today's class. After that, yes, we will do the excretory system. Yes, the respiratory system and the endocrine systems as well, locomotion, movement, everything will be done in a lot more detail. I will try and do 2 systems in the next class. But today's class, we will again sit and do digestion and absorption in more detail, because you know that digestion and absorption, like I mentioned in the last class, is one of the most important topics of human physiology, because enzymes, glands, liver, gallbladder, all of this, a lot of questions come from this topic. Yes. So before I begin with today's amazingly cool session, I just want to tell you, how's the Josh? Yes, are you doing well? Are you not worried? Yes, has your confidence level increased? Because I see so many of you continuously coming to our classes, like coming every day without missing. You've been waiting. I see so many of you waiting for the classes and coming right on time every single day. I've been following you. I've been seeing you. I've been observing you. Your answering has become much better. You look extremely confident with the kind of comments that you leave behind. So looks like each one of you is gaining a lot of confidence and doing really well. That's nice. That's nice. That's how it should be, especially when the last few days are remaining before the main major exam of our lives. Yes. So chaliye, let's start today's another amazingly cool, super awesome session on digestion and absorption. Like I always say, and I've been saying this for 1 month for all my classes, the theory is discussed. It's going to be discussed with every slide, every question. Come, question number 1 on your screen now. Yes, what will happen? Now see, we've done in detail about the parietal cell in yesterday's class, correct? हमने कल की class में parietal cells के बारे में in detail discussion करी है. तो अभी ये पेराइटल सेल्स की एप्लीकेशन के ऊपर क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं. तो इन्होंने कहा है कि अगर मैं कोई इनहिबिटर ले लूं, यस आई यूज एनी इनहिबिटर, आई यूज एन एंजाइमेटिक इनहिबिटर, अ सेल इनहिबिटर, एंड आई स्टॉप द सिक्रीशन ऑफ द पेराइटल सेल्स ऑफ गैस्ट्रिक ग्लैंड्स ऑफ द स्टमक. What will happen if the secretion of parietal cells of gastric glands is blocked with the inhibitor? So that means, but obviously hydrochloric acid release nahi hoga. I told you in yesterday's class only that hydrochloric acid is extremely important to break the bonds. Yes, you heard that right. Hydrochloric acid is extremely important to break the bonds of the protein. So in the absence of an acid like the hydrochloric acid, the protein bonds will not be broken. Point number 1. I also told you in yesterday's class that pepsinogen will be converted to pepsin first of all by hydrochloric acid, और उसके बाद पेप्सिन अपने आप को ही पेप्सिनोजन से पेप्सिन में कन्वर्ट कर देगा. इस चीज को हम ऑटो कैटालिटिक कहते हैं, अपने आप अपना कैटालिसिस करवाना. क्लियर एवरीबॉडी? बट पहली बार के लिए हाइड्रोक्लोरिक acid is very important. So without hydrochloric acid, my dear children, obviously the protein bonds will not be broken. That's denaturation of protein. The tertiary bonds of protein will not be broken. Correct everybody? And then yes, right, after that what's going to happen is autocatalysis नहीं होगा, पेप्सिनोजन से पेप्सिन नहीं बनेगा, जिसकी वजह से हम प्रोटीन्स डाइजेस्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे. Understood? Any doubts? Yes, cool. And number 2 most important thing is that the pH, remember this, because of hydrochloric acid, the pH of the stomach is usually between 1 to 2.53. Right, so 1 to 3 is usually the pH. It's very less, it's acidic, it becomes alkaline. ये alkaline कब होता है? It becomes alkaline when it enters a C-shaped duodenum under the secretions of the gallbladder and the pancreas. So hepatopancreatic secretions इसको alkaline बनाते हैं. The parietal cells, also referred to as the oxyntic cells of the gastric glands. Gastric glands means they are glands of the stomach. They secrete hydrochloric acid. In the presence of the hydrochloric acid, pepsinogen, which is a proenzyme. I gave you another word for proenzyme in yesterday's class, which I told you is very important. Yes, it's known as a zymogen. So with a zymogen, with an inactive enzyme like pepsinogen, hydrochloric acid will turn it into an active form called pepsinogen. सिर्फ हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड की वजह से पेप्सिनोजन जो एक इनएक्टिव एंजाइम है, जो कि एक जाइमोजन है, वो एक्टिव हो जाएगी. ये पेप्सिन अपना ऑटो कैटालिसिस भी करवाती है. पेप्सिन जो है वो एक प्रिंसिपल प्रोटीएज है, मतलब प्रोटीन को डाइजेस्ट करने वाली. प्रिंसिपल मींस इट्स अ मेन एंजाइम जो प्रोटीन्स को डाइजेस्ट करेगी. इज दैट क्लियर? सो अगर हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड नहीं होगा, इनएक्टिव पेप्सिनोजन इज नॉट कन्वर्टेड इनटू पेप्सिन. लेट मी टेल यू, हम जितनी एंजाइम्स कर रहे हैं, स्पेशली गैस्ट्रिक म्यूकोसा एंड गैस्ट्रिक एंजाइम, 100% they will come in the exam. 100% you can mark my words. चीफ सेल से आएगा पेप्सिन और पेराइटल सेल से आएगा हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड. Which one of the following pairs of food components in humans reaches the stomach totally undigested? मतलब ये आपसे पूछना चाह रहे हैं कि इन चारों में से ऐसा कौन है जो माउथ में डाइजेस्ट नहीं होता. माउथ में सलाइवा होता है, राइट? द pH is around 7, राइट? सलाइवा के अंदर दो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें जो आपको याद करनी है. सबसे पहले, सलाइवा इज सिक्रेटेड बाय द मेजर एंड माइनर सलाइवरी ग्लैंड्स. एक्स्ट्रा बिट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन पर स्लाइड. सलाइवा कौन सिक्रीट करेगा? मेजर और माइनर सलाइवरी ग्लैंड्स. मेजर सलाइवरी ग्लैंड्स कितने? 3. पैरोटिड सलाइवरी ग्लैंड, सबमैंडिबुलर सलाइवरी ग्लैंड एंड सबलिंगुअल सलाइवरी ग्लैंड. All over the mouth you have minor salivary glands. Saliva basically has an antibacterial agent called lysozyme. लाइसोजाइम जो है वो बैक्टीरिया की सेल वॉल को डाइजेस्ट कर देता है. बैक्टीरिया की सेल वॉल बनी होती है, आपको सब कुछ बाय हार्ट होना चाहिए अभी तक. यस, बैक्टीरिया की सेल वॉल बनी होती है नैग्नैम से. जब हम बैक्टीरिया की सेल वॉल को डाइजेस्ट कर देते हैं, वी गेट एल फॉर्म्स और स्फीरोसोम्स व्हिच आर सेल वॉल डेफिशिएंट फॉर्म्स. They do not have a cell wall. Apart from that, the saliva has a very important digestive enzyme known as amylase, which is known as salivary amylase. इसका एक और नाम है जो हमने कल किया था, टायलिन. Right? It digests starch. So कौन सा है जो completely undigested आएगा? Cellulose, because we don't have cellulase. Correct? Cellulase was formed once upon a time by the appendix of the human beings. But because human beings started eating cooked food, raw food छोड़ दिया, the appendix became a vestigial structure which stores B or T lymphocytes, helps in immunity. Once upon a time it used to make cellulase. And fats. There are no fat digesting enzymes in the mouth. There is no cellulose digesting enzyme in the mouth. Can you see option number A has starch? Option number C has starch and option number D has starch. So starch is digested in the mouth क्योंकि ऊपर वाले दो और ऊपर वाला एक और नीचे वाले दो ऑप्शन में starch है. Therefore, they are not the correct option. Starch is digested by salivary amylase, also known as tyalin. Is that clear? Yes. So after yesterday's class, after you've got more clarity, you've done it, आप घर से पढ़कर आए होंगे, कल की क्लास अटेंड की है. Are you able to solve the questions in a much more fun, easy and quick method? Absolutely. चलिए. Saliva contains no lipase. The stomach also lacks any fat emulsifying agent. Emulsification of fat or breakdown of fat, just like emulsification of oils by detergent action, is brought about by bile. Emulsification होता है धो देना. Yes, to wash it away, to like break it down into smaller parts. This is skin with cellulite or fat they've shown, right? So emulsifying agent कहाँ होता है? Bile में होता है. Bile salts and bile pigments help in digestion of fats. Fats absorb कहाँ होते हैं? Again, so much of extra information per slide. Fats absorb कहाँ से होते हैं? Lacteal से. This also we have done in detail in yesterday's class. Right? Lacteals are the central portion of the villi. They are lymphatic vessels. इनका diameter capillary से ज्यादा होता है क्योंकि capillary का diameter छोटा होता है. Therefore, they cannot absorb any fats. Cellulose is not digested in human beings. Right? Jaundice. फिर मैंने कल की क्लास में ये भी बताया था. Then what is the use of cellulose? Cellulose is basically roughage. The salads that you eat, you cannot digest them. Obviously, to increase the amount of water content of the body, and they are very bulky. Right? They are raw, they are bulky. So ये खूब सारा पानी absorb करते हैं. So they give a feeling of fullness. Therefore, they help in weight loss. आदमी कम खाना खाता है because after eating salads, after eating roughage, after eating raw food, the person becomes full because they are bulky and they absorb water. Now, because they are bulky and they will absorb water, they are easy to move in the intestine. They move about easily. They are not like maida. They are not like Maggi. They are not like, any refined material. They are extremely bulky. So when they move easily, defecation becomes very, very easy. So it can come in the exam that if we do not have cellulase and we cannot digest cellulose, then why should we eat rough or raw food? We should eat roughage or raw food because they are bulky, they absorb water, and they move about easily in the excretory system, leading to easy defecation. Cool? Jaundice. Jaundice is yellowing. Let me show you a photograph. Look at this photograph. Yes. So you see the skin is slightly yellowed and you see this white portion of the eye, which is known as sclera, which is yellow. Right. Now, let me explain this to you in detail. It's a disorder of the excretory system, no. Of the skin and eyes, no. Of the circulatory system, no. Of the digestive system. Let me explain this to you in detail. Let's go back to the previous slide. Let me delete it and now I shall explain it to you in detail. Pay attention. This is very, 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 very important from MCQ point of view. I shall be discussing the complete theory in detail. Pay attention, right? So you have the blood. The blood is made up of the RBCs. You know the lifespan of RBCs is only 120 days. So after 120 days, the RBCs go to the spleen. स्प्लीन हैज रेटिकुलिन मेशवर्क. एनिमल टिश्यूज की क्लास देखी है आपने? अगर नहीं देखी है तो यूट्यूब पे प्लीज एनिमल टिश्यूज का नीट चैनल पे क्लास देख लीजिए. स्प्लीन में रेटिकुलिन नेटवर्क होता है. रेटिकुलिन इज लाइक अ मेशवर्क, इट्स लाइक अ फिश नेट. तो जो ओल्ड आरबीसीज होते हैं वो इस नेट में फंस जाते हैं. So after 120 days, when the RBCs lose elasticity, elastic nahi hai, they've become old, they get stuck on this net. When they get stuck on this net, the RBCs are destroyed. So let's come to the destruction of RBCs. This also could be an MCQ question, both of AIIMS and NEET, that spleen is made up of reticulin. The lifespan of RBCs is just about 120 days. The production of RBCs is known as erythropoiesis. The production of blood, extra information, please pay attention, is known as hemopoiesis. Where does it happen? In infants, it happens in the liver and the bones. In adults, it only happens at the ends of long bones. Correct? So the RBCs are destroyed. The RBCs are made into two components. What are the two components? We have heme and we have globin. Hemoglobin. Heme and globin. Heme is the iron. So the heme is sent back to the bone marrow because we don't want to lose any iron of the body. And ये दोबारा bone marrow में जाके नए RBCs को produce करवाएगा. The globin is absolutely right. Is the protein part. So there is hemoglobin, heme and globin is the protein part. It's the protein part of the RBCs. It is recycled. It's converted into bilirubin as well as biliverdin, which form nothing but the bile pigments, and they are excreted out in the body. Now, suppose somebody gets malaria. Very, very important. So, if somebody gets malaria, do the malarial parasite, that is Plasmodium, do they destroy more amounts of RBCs? Yes. So, when the RBCs are destroyed more, does it increase the globin production? Yes. Will it increase the bilirubin, biliverdin? Yes. Will this bilirubin and biliverdin be correct? Will this bilirubin and biliverdin, which is usually used to digest the fats, which is known as emulsification of fats, usually iska ye kaam hota hai. But when the RBCs are destroyed more, increasing the globin, increasing bilirubin, biliverdin, it is found in circulation. It is yellow in color, so it causes pigmentation of the skin. Also, copied this down, take a snapshot, very, very important. मान लीजिए ये liver है और ये gall bladder है उसके नीचे और ये आ रही है आपकी hepatopancreatic duct, right? जिसको हम common bile duct भी कहते हैं. मैंने आपको कल CBD दिखाया था क्लास में. That's why I say do not miss any class. I'd shown you common bile duct और मैंने आपको ये भी बोला था maximum stones which are known as cholelithiasis are found in the CBD. So मान लीजिए ये block हो गया. Right? There's a big stone and the CBD has been blocked. Now you just tell me one thing. Will the bile continue to flow? Will the bile flow? No. So the bile will go back. Exactly. Will it be reabsorbed in the blood? Will the bile which is not getting secreted out, जो emulsification of fat नहीं करवा रहा, क्या वो blood में reabsorb हो जाएगा? Yes. तो जब ये blood में reabsorb होगा, is it going to increase bilirubin and biliverdin? Yes, which will further cause what you can see in this slide known as jaundice. Is that clear? Yes. Let's come to this slide. I think yes. So it's going to cause jaundice. Is that clear? Okay, let's move ahead to the next question. Right, so just as I explained to you, can you all see, because of increased amount of bilirubin or biliverdin, which is nothing but a byproduct of the blood, there is increased amount of yellowing of the sclera and as a skin, which is known as jaundice. It could even come. Now, because I've explained this to you in detail, it is very important that you know the little high level questions also. So जब वो डक्ट ब्लॉक हो जाएगी, जिस डक्ट की मैंने कल भी बात की थी, जिसको हम सीबीडी कहते हैं, जब वो डक्ट ब्लॉक हो जाएगी, that time it is called as obstructive. Correct, everybody? It's an MCQ question, especially AIIMS. और जब RBCs destroy हो जाएंगे as it happens in malaria, it could be hemolytic, right? So obstructive and hemolytic are the two varieties of jaundice. Hemolytic का क्या मतलब है? Hemolytic means to destroy the RBCs, because of which there is increased amount of bilirubin and biliverdin. Cool. चलिए, let us move ahead. The purplish red pigment rhodopsin contained in the rods of the eye, and the rods of the eye, as you all know, help us to see in exactly dim vision. So the rhodopsin, which helps us to see in dim vision, right? The purplish red pigment rhodopsin contained in the rods type of photoreceptor cells of the human eye is a derivative of, and we've done this in yesterday's class, absolutely right, vitamin A. विटामिन ए अगर नहीं होगा, रोडोप्सिन नहीं बनेंगे, जिसकी वजह से डिम विजन में वी विल हैव प्रॉब्लम इन सीइंग, व्हिच आई टोल्ड यू इज नाइट ब्लाइंडनेस कॉल्ड निक्टोलोपिया, right? And for the same, there is a biofortified price. Yes, there's a biofortified priced rice which is available, which is known as vitamin A enriched rice or golden rice, right? It is vitamin A enriched. So vitamin A से ही बनता है, retinol होता है, rhodopsin बनता है, which helps us to see. It's not B, it's not C. This causes scurvy, this causes rickets or osteoporosis, because vitamin D is very, very, very important for absorption of calcium, and vitamin B deficiency will help, will help you to overcome beriberi. Vitamin B causes beriberi. Vitamin A और retinol एक फैट सॉल्युबल विटामिन है, मैंने कल भी आपको बताया था. व्हाट आर द फैट सॉल्युबल विटामिन? विटामिन ए, डी, ई एंड के. Correct? Is that clear? A, D, E and K. Right? So vitamin A is a fat soluble vitamin that cannot be synthesized by mammals and other vertebrates and must be provided in the diet. It's a constituent of the visual pigment rhodopsin, helps you to see. Correct? Any doubts? Okay. One of the constituents of the pancreatic juice which is poured into the duodenum. So ये रहा C-shaped duodenum. Correct? इससे पहले क्या होता है? हेपेटोपैंक्रियाटिक डक्ट आकर मिलती है यहाँ पर, राइट? कहां पर खुलती है हेपेटोपैंक्रियाटिक डक्ट? ऑन द स्फिंक्टर ऑफ ओडी. एब्सोल्युटली राइट. सो वन ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स ऑफ द पैंक्रियाटिक जूस व्हिच इज poured into the duodenum is a trypsinogen, chymotrypsin, trypsin, enterokinase. You know, chymotrypsin and trypsin are secreted in inactive form by the pancreas for protein digestion. What is the inactive form? There has to be gen. Right? So the trypsinogen will be converted to trypsin. The chymotrypsinogen will be converted to chymotrypsin. Both of them are going to help in protein digestion. ये क्यों एक्टिव फॉर्म में नहीं होते? सिमिलर रीजन लाइक पेप्सिनोजन. अगर पेप्सिनोजन एक्टिव फॉर्म में सिक्रीट होने लग जाए, इट इज सिक्रीटेड एज पेप्सिन in the human stomach, it will digest the stomach. उसी की प्रोटेक्शन के लिए there are goblet cells which secrete mucus. Right? Are you trying to put everything in perspective? Right, everybody? Are you getting the perspective? कैसे चीजों को yes समझना है? So trypsinogen is secreted in inactive form. Duodenum follows the stomach. It is somewhat C-shaped, we know it. It's about 25 centimeters long. It receives a hepatopancreatic ampulla, correct, which opens at the sphincter of OD. करेक्ट. स्फिंक्टर ऑफ ओडी पे हेपेटिक मतलब लिवर की पैंक्रियाटिक डक्ट्स खुलती हैं. पैंक्रियाटिक जूस में अगेन प्रो एंजाइम्स होती हैं. आपको पता है प्रो एंजाइम्स आर इनएक्टिव एंजाइम्स या जाइमोजेंस. क्या क्या है प्रो एंजाइम्स? ट्रिप्सिनोजन और कीमोट्रिप्सिनोजन एंड प्रो कार्बोक्सीपेप्टिडेज which will turn into carboxypeptidase. Trypsinogen will turn into trypsin and chymotrypsinogen will turn into chymotrypsin. In the presence of enterokinase, enteric आपको पता है मतलब होता है intestine. So enterokinase means juice of the intestine. It's a protease of intestinal juice. Inactive trypsinogen will be converted to trypsin. ट्रिप्सिन जो है वो एक्टिवेट करेगा कीमोट्रिप्सिनोजन इनटू प्रोकार्बोक्सीपेप्टिडेज इनटू कीमोट्रिप्सिन और कार्बोक्सीपेप्टिडेज. सो आई विल रिपीट एवरीथिंग टू. इंटेस्टाइन सिक्रीट करेगा एंटेरोकाइनेज, पॉइंट नंबर 1. एंटेरोकाइनेज कन्वर्ट करेगा ट्रिप्सिनोजन को ट्रिप्सिन में, पॉइंट नंबर 2. ट्रिप्सिन कन्वर्ट करेगा कीमोट्रिप्सिनोजन को कीमोट्रिप्सिन में और प्रोकार्बोक्सीपेप्टिडेज को कार्बोक्सीपेप्टिडेज में. Together, all of them will do rapid digestion of protein. So enterokinase converts trypsinogen to trypsin. Point number 1. Trypsin converts chymotrypsinogen to chymotrypsin and procarboxypeptidase to carboxypeptidase. Who's doing this entire thing? Enterokinase. Can you see that? Any doubts? See this red colored thing called enterokinase. So trypsinogen to trypsin. See beautiful diagram. And trypsin is converting chymotrypsinogen to chymotrypsin and procarboxypeptidase to carboxypeptidase. This is how it functions. All the enzymes which are inactive, as you all know, are referred to as zymogens. initial digestion of milk in humans is carried out by? You know the answer. I've told you in yesterday's class. Correct? It is present only in infants. I've also told you about rennet cheese. कि calf से renin निकाल के humans make a cheese which is known as rennet cheese. Is that clear? Yes, everybody, very, very nice. Yes, renin. And if it is 1N, I've discussed this in the physiology YouTube lectures. It is a part of the renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system, which is a part of the human kidney, which helps you to reabsorb blood, increase the blood volume, and increase the blood pressure. So I have discussed the JG apparatus and the renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. अनडाउटेडली इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है कि रेनिन एंजियोटेंसिन एल्डोस्टेरोन सिस्टम और जेजी अपैरेटस से एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आएगा ही आएगा. Moving ahead. So initial step, renin is secreted by the peptic cells present in the epithelium of the gastric glands. It's found in the gastric juice of human beings during infancy and in calf. Calf ke renin se we make rennet cheese. In adults, gastric juice is devoid of renin. So who's going to convert it? Pepsin. And what does renin do? It converts the milk protein casein into para-casein, leading to milk coagulation. So it acts on casein and converts into para-casein. Who does it? Renin, which is a milk curdling enzyme. It curdles the milk. It's more found in infants because infants are completely dependent on milk. Is that clear? The enzyme that is not, do not, how many of you still do that not know wala mistake? Yes, kai baar hum kar lete, not padhte nahi, correct ko incorrect pad lete, incorrect ko correct pad lete. So the enzyme that is not present in succus entericus or the juice of the intestine is nuclease, right? There's no nuclease. There is nucleosides. You know, nucleotides are sugar plus base plus phosphate. Once you remove the phosphate, they become nucleosides, sugar plus base. So the bases are separated, the sugars are separated, and then you have individual maltase, sucrase, lactase to digest the sugars. You don't have a nuclease. You have a nucleosidase, a lipase, a maltase. Succus entericus, or is the intestinal juice. Extra information, the pH is 7.8. It refers to the secretion of the glands of the small intestine. It contains many enzymes, that is maltase, isomaltase, lipase, lactase, dextrinase, right? Enterokinase. It has aminopeptidases to break down the amino acids. Nucleotidase to break down the nucleotides, that is sugar plus base or phosphate को separate करना, और sugar और bases को separate करने का nucleosidase. All these enzymes are there. Please remember, अगर कभी आ गया, which of them are not present? So they have a nucleotidase, they have a nucleosidase, but they don't have a nuclease. So maltase, isomaltase, and all for carbohydrates. You have protein digesting ones, you have fat digesting one, lipases, you have nucleic acid digesting one, but you do not have a nuclease. Is that clear? Enzyme nuclease is not a digestive enzyme. It's not present in the digestive juice. Is that clear? I hope it's clear and you will not forget it. Yes, which of the following guards the opening? So many times we have done it. Now to everything, all the questions in your exams, you would have kind of already done them right here. Right, which guards the hepatopancreatic duct, जो duodenum पे खुलेगी, duodenum C-shaped होता है, hepatopancreatic duct खुलती है. What is the guarding जो open और close करेगा, juice को enter करवाएगा? Yes, it is the sphincter of OD. स्टमक के दो पार्ट्स होते हैं, ऊपर का पार्ट कार्डियक कहलाता है, नीचे का पार्ट पाइलोरिक कहलाता है, तो ये होता है पाइलोरिक स्फिंक्टर. इलियम और सीकम के जंक्शन पे होता है इलियोसिकल वाल्व. दिस इज एट द पल्मोनरी आर्टरीज इन द पल्मोनरी वेन्स. राइट? एनी डाउट्स? Right? Cool? Understanding everything, everybody. Sphincter of OD, देखिए ये है. Right? Sphincter. Right? It's like sphincter is a round muscle. So it will close, open. ये आ रहा है आपका bile duct, देखिए. Right? मान लीजिए ये bile duct आ रहा है, which is coming from the liver, the gallbladder. ये आ गया आपके pancreas का. ये बन गया आपका hepatopancreatic junction. और ये है आपका duodenum. Correct? This part. See, जो ये है. So this sphincter, which will open and close it here, will be called the sphincter of OD. It is going to regulate the entry of bile and the pancreatic juice into the duodenum. Once it opens, the bile and pancreatic juice will flow into the duodenum. Once it closes, the bile and pancreatic juice will not flow. Any doubts? Anything that you've not been able to place? Is everything getting clear? Let us move ahead. Yes, everybody. So as I've promised you in every single class, as you can see, we are going to do close to 80 slides. 80 slides in just about 50-55 minutes to 1 hour. Yes? Cool. Chaliye. Which hormones do stimulate the production of pancreatic juice and bicarbonate ions? So you know when the food will come from the stomach into the duodenum. Let me make, this is the C-shaped duodenum. This is the stomach. You know the food which comes from the mouth is called bolus. The food which is present, the digested material which is present in the stomach is called as chyme. It's extremely acidic. It has to be called the chyle in the intestine, which is basic. So once it comes from the chyme to the chyle, this is acidic. It has to be converted into a basic material. So we require bicarbonate ions. We require pancreatic juice. Both of them are extremely basic. It will only happen once the food starts to move from the stomach to the intestine. इनमें से कौन सा है जो stomach to intestine जब food move करवाएगा? Exactly. This is also something which I did in yesterday's class. I told you the full form of this. The full form of this was called CCKPZ, cholecystokinin pancreozymin. जैसे ही food move करने लगेगा, the moment the food starts to move from the stomach to the intestine, the cholecystokinin pancreozymin is secreted. It will go to the liver, to the gallbladder, to the pancreas, and tell them that the acidic food has started to move from the stomach to the intestine, and now you must also secrete the basic juice. Secretin will be for the secretions of the intestine, because the succus entericus or the secretions of the intestine are also exactly basic. So liver, secretin stimulates the duct cells in the liver, gallbladder, CCKPZ, duodenum में भी secretin है, देखिए, right? सीसीके स्फिंक्टर ऑफ ओडी का रिलैक्सेशन करवा देगा. वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्लाइड. सीसीके क्या करवाएगा? स्फिंक्टर ऑफ ओडी का रिलैक्सेशन, सो दैट द जूसेस फ्रॉम द gallbladder, liver and the pancreas can come. Is that clear? gallbladder में जाके gallbladder का contraction करवाएगा CCK, so that gallbladder क्या करे? gallbladder contract करे, और gallbladder जैसे ही contract करेगा the juices will come. gallbladder को contract करवा रहा है और sphincter of OD को relax करवा रहा है. So it stimulates the gallbladder to release bile and pancreas to secrete and release digestive enzymes in the pancreatic juice. Hormone secretin is secreted from the duodenum and releases bicarbonates in the pancreatic juice. यह secretin का काम. Secretin is released from the duodenum, releases bicarbonate ions from the pancreatic juice. So HCO3 minus कहाँ से आ रहा है? Pancreatic juice से आ रहा है. कौन release करवा रहा है bicarbonate ions को pancreatic juice से? Secretin. It also causes secretion of bile. secretin bile का भी secretion करवा रहा है, pancreas से भी secretion करवा रहा है bicarbonate ions का, और stomach की motility को कम कर देगा. stomach से suddenly खाना नहीं आना चाहिए, because अगर stomach से बहुत suddenly खाना आ जाएगा, so but obviously yes, but obviously वो इतना ज्यादा होगा कि वो you know, in your intestine it will not be able to mix with all the bile secretion. So stomach से slowly खाना आना चाहिए और slowly juices आने चाहिए from the gallbladder and the pancreas, and they should mix and cause the acidic food to become basic. Question number 10 on your screen. Space in the jaw. I've told you this. Every question, if you remember, the questions are coming, but the information in the theory has been discussed. The gap between the teeth is called diastema. कल हमने बहुत सारे teeth के questions किए थे, and in them I told you. I also told you that the top part of the tooth is called the crown. Below that you have the living part जिसमें nerves होती है, जिसको dentine कहते हैं. The hard or the outermost part is called the enamel. Below this is the dentine, and the dentine is secreted by specialized cells. The cells which secrete enamel are called as ameloblast, and the cells which secrete dentine, जो cells dentine secrete करते हैं, उनको odontoblast कहते हैं. Odontoblast is also previous year MCQ question. And the gap between the teeth is called as diastema. The top part of the tooth is called the crown. The lower part is called the root, right? And the one which is covering the roots and covering a little bit of the crown and appears pink in color is the gum or the gingiva. Any doubts? Any doubts? Have I explained all four options to you so that if some other question comes, you're convinced about all four options? Yes. So the gap in the jawbone, जहाँ पे कोई दांत नहीं है, this is the jawbone, this is one tooth, this is another tooth. The gap is called as the diastema. It's very common. If you look around, you will be able to see people with such kinds of gaps, right? Diastema is a gap that separates the biting teeth from the grinding teeth in herbivores. यहाँ पे और यहाँ के दांतों के बीच में, यहाँ also there's a gap. The space is filled with a large canine tooth. So that means in herbivores this much, and these posterior tooth, they have a gap, correct? Whereas it's filled with a large canine. A very sharp, large canine in carnivores. But the gap between teeth is referred to as the diastema. Again, yes, can you all get the confidence? Can you feel the confidence in the class that you're able to solve all the questions? Human being dental formula has to be 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars, and 3 molars. The third molar is the wisdom tooth, which comes later. If you're talking about infants, the milk teeth, you know they don't have a premolar. So it is 2102. Is that clear? Any doubts? Perfect. Perfect. Let us move ahead. Right? So it's 2, 1, 2, 3. Incisors, canine, premolars, and molars. And we'd also done in yesterday's class, quick recap, how many are the total number of canines? You remember this from yesterday's class? Yes, yes, yes. They are nothing but 4 in number. Correct? Chaliye, let us move ahead. So number of teeth in adult human being is 32 divided into incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. The dental formula is 2, 1, 2, 3. You can see this right here. Right? So how do we make it? 2, 1, 2, 3. यहाँ एक quadrant में divide कर देते हैं like this. So this, and this. Right? 2, 1, 2, 3 here, 2, 1, 2, 3 here, 2, 1, 2, 3 this side, 2, 1, 2, and 3 this side. Cool? Chaliye, let us move ahead. Dentine, I just did it. This will secrete cartilage for you. Let me use a nice bright colored pen. This is going to secrete bone for you. This is going to be secreting oil in plant cells. And this will be secreting dentine. So are 4 options clear again? All 4 options, are they clear again? Odontoblasts secrete dentine. Elaeoblasts are oil ones which secrete oil. They are in seeds, spherosomes, ileoplasts. Osteoblasts secrete bone, chondroblasts, perichondrium. We've done it in animal tissues YouTube lecture. Please see them. Secrete cartilage. Yes. So dentine is secreted by none other than odontoblast, right? So the pulp cavity is there. सबसे अंदर pulp cavity होता है, बाहर का part enamel होता है, enamel के अंदर dentine होता है. मैंने अभी आपको बताया ameloblast will secrete enamel if it ever comes, which is the hardest substance. Dentine is a substance which is present between the enamel and the pulp, and they are secreted by odontoblast. The formation of dentine is known as dentinogenesis, right? जो roots के बाहर एक substance होता है. Suppose these are the roots and the roots are present in a bony socket. So the substance which is outside the roots, absolutely right, which will hold it on the bony socket is referred to as cementum. Correct? And this little space here, which is in between the tooth and the bone, is known as the periodontal space. You should remember this. It's known as the periodontal space. Small space which is between the roots and the teeth. Yeah, roots of the teeth and the bone. Villi. We've done this in yesterday's class. You know the villi contains lacteal in the middle and the blood vessel or capillaries around it, which helps us to absorb the substance. Yes. So where are the villi present? Right? Villi present in the intestine. Obviously, what do they secrete enzymes? Do they increase the surface area for absorption? Is it protection? Absolutely, absolutely right. Right? आपको मैंने कल अगर intestine सिर्फ ऐसे होती. Now how is the intestine? It is like this. The surface is highly fold. Like alveoli increases the surface area of the lungs, right? Similarly, the villi will increase the surface area of the intestine for absorption of nutrients. Correct? And इनके बाद और ज्यादा इसके बाद ऊपर एक और बार villi होता है, which is referred to as a microvilli. Really, really small. So villi are like really small increase in surface area. See this, right? See, अगर ये सिर्फ ऐसे होता, but see that lovely diagram. How is it inside? Can you see this? And देखो, अब मैंने जब एक ये लिया, look at this. ये भी ऐसा दिया. How is this? Look at this. Can you appreciate how much I increase? And then each villi or vilus, plural, singular. Villi is plural, vilus is singular. उसके ऊपर भी खूब सारे microvilli है. इसके ऊपर भी खूब सारे microvilli हैं, which will further increase the surface area so that nutrients can be absorbed. So intestine has got finger-like projections. It's not like this. ये ऐसा भी हो सकता है. It's like this, in fact. It's got finger-like projections. Is that clear? So the villi has got finger-like projections. The finger-like projections are known as, absolutely right, villi. They've further got, can you see that एक cell, मान लीजिए ये है. So there are one cell here, one cell here, one cell here, one cell here. In cells की भी, yes, they also have further projections which are referred to as microvilli. Is that clear? Invertebrates, lacteals kahan hai? We've just discussed this. Esophagus, no. Ear, no. Ischium, the end of it, no. It's present in the ileum. Duodenum, jejunum, ileum. Yes, ileum of the small intestine has the lacteals for absorption of, right? All of them have lacteals for absorption of nutrients, which is the part of the small intestine which was mentioned there in charon mein se, which is the only part of the small intestine, ileum. Any doubts? Okay, what are lacteals? We've done this. Lacteals are minute blind-ended lymph vessels, right? इसके अंदर जो lymph vessel होगा, end vessel, lymph vessel, blind vessel, जो कि fats, chylomicrons को absorb करेगा, which is called as lacteals. What are bilirubin and biliverdin? Yes, so again, have you paid attention? Have you noticed this कि अगर आपकी theory अच्छी हो, you've done the theory well, but obviously आपके MCQs अच्छे से solve होंगे. There is no doubt about it. So bilirubin and biliverdin are nothing but the bile pigments. Bile, let me quickly do it for you. The bile is made up of bile salts, yes, and the bile pigments, correct. Bile salts are sodium and potassium salts of acids by the name of glycolic and taurocholic acid. So you have sodium taurocholate, sodium glycolate, potassium taurocholate, and potassium glycolate. They are the bile salts. Bile salts and bile pigments together help in emulsification of fats. Whereas the bile pigments, my dear children, are nothing but bilirubin and biliverdin, which come from old RBCs. So they are bile pigments. I've told you old RBCs will give you hemoglobin. The heme is iron. It needs to be returned back to the bone marrow. The globin will be broken down into bilirubin and biliverdin in the liver. They help in emulsification of fats. They are required for digestion and absorption of fats. Digestion and absorption of fats is known as emulsification of fats. So succus entericus is your juice of the intestine. Who secretes them? Absolutely right. क्रिप्ट्स मैंने कल की क्लास में आपको बताया है, अगर विलाय वगैरह ऐसे होते हैं तो नीचे खड्डे होते हैं, उन खड्डों को हम क्रिप्ट्स ऑफ लिबरकून कहते हैं. लिबरकून नाम के साइंटिस्ट ने डिस्कवर किया था. सो द क्रिप्ट्स ऑफ लिबरकून सिक्रीट सुकस एंटेरिकस. Right, everybody? Pierce patches, very important from MCQ point of view. Pierce patches are lymphocytes of the intestine. Let me write that. Lymphocytes of the intestine, or you can say the immune cells of the intestine. By chance आपने कोई foreign substance खाया और वो absorb होता होता without getting destroyed intestine तक पहुंच गया. So the lymphocytes or the immune cells of the intestine are referred to as Pierce patches. They are found in the intestine, just like Kupffer cells are immune cells of the, absolutely right, immune cells of the, correct, immune cells of the liver. Auerbach's plexus, Meissner's plexus, Pacinian corpuscles are all nerve bundles, right? So the nerve bundles have names like Auerbach's plexus, Pacinian corpuscles, Meissner's corpuscle, correct? Succus entericus or intestinal juice is secreted by intestinal gland. Now, very important, succus entericus pe questions aate hain. What does it have? It might have maltase, it might have sucrase, lactase, enterokinase, correct? Intestinal glands are formed by surface epithelium of small intestine. There are two types of crypts of Liverpool and Brunner's gland. Succus entericus. Now, Brunner's gland answer kyun nahi? Because 85% of the succus entericus is produced by crypts of Liverpool, as these glands occur throughout the small intestine. They secrete digestive enzymes, they secrete mucus so that the food can become moist and move easily. Whereas Brunner's gland are specialized glands only produced in the duodenum. Brunner's gland also produce the juice. Pay attention, Brunner's gland, a very small amount, only present in the duodenum. Crypts of Liverpool are found everywhere. Extra bit of information, very important to remember. Brunner's gland do secrete mucus, but a very small amount of enzyme. Mucus prevents the duodenal wall from getting digested because chymotrypsin is coming, trypsin is coming, carboxypeptidase is coming. तो हो सकता है duodenum भी digest हो जाए. Duodenum को digest नहीं करना है, to be protected by lining of mucus. Proximal होता है पास वाला. So दूर वाला part of stomach जो duodenum में open हो रहा है, अगर मुझे duodenum भी बनाना है तो बना लेते हैं, C-shaped duodenum बना लेते हैं, correct? So proximal is पास वाला. This is the proximal part of the stomach called the cardiac part, and this is the distal part of the stomach called pylorus, guarded by pyloric sphincter here, which opens into the C-shaped duodenum. Is that clear? This is the fundus of the dome-shaped part is called the fundus. Is that clear? Correct? So fundus is the dome-shaped part. Pylorus opens in the duodenum. Omentum means the curvature of the stomach. Omentum is the curve, the J shape, the curve of the stomach. So the distal part which opens into duodenum is pylorus. Duodenum opens into jejunum. Jejunum opens into ileum. Correct? All four options clear. Have you paid attention how I'm discussing all four options to make sure that everything in the exam is understood to each one of you? Cool. So this is the pylorus. Agar pylorus narrow ho jaye, see it's closed now. It's closed. That means the food is in the stomach. Agar pylorus bahut narrow ho jaye, it's called as stenosis. Right? It could lead to, absolutely right, it could lead to non-movement of food in the intestine. Food will only remain in the stomach. So pyloric sphincter है, ये guard करता है कब open और close होगा, and the food will move from the stomach into the intestine. Is that clear? Sphincter of OD, this question has come at least 1 million times. Yes, everybody? And everybody should be able to see this question, say yes and solve it. Clear, my dear students? चलिए. So ये sphincter of OD कहाँ होता है? हेपेटोपैंक्रियाटिक डक्ट में होता है. पैंक्रियास की जो हेपेटोपैंक्रियाटिक डक्ट आती है, जो डिओडेनम में खुलती है, उसको कौन गार्ड करता है? उसको एक गार्ड होता है स्फिंक्टर ऑफ ओडी. स्फिंक्टर का मतलब क्या होता है? ये एक राउंड ओपनिंग है. सो मेनी टाइम्स आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड दिस टू यू. यस, तो ये तो आप नींद में भी आंसर कर दो कि ये रहा आपका स्फिंक्टर ऑफ ओडी. इसके पहले नाउ लुक एट दिस अमेजिंग कूल इमेज. इससे पहले जो डक्ट आ रही है, कैन यू सी, ये थोड़ी सी मोटी हो रही है. ध्यान से देखिए, पीछे की ग्रीन देखिए और पीछे की येलो देखिए, वो नॉर्मल है. कैन यू सी इट्स अ लिटिल डायलेटेड जस्ट बिफोर ओपनिंग. ये आपका स्फिंक्टर ऑफ ओडी है. सो जस्ट बिफोर ओपनिंग स्फिंक्टर ऑफ ओडी, ये देखिए मैंने रेड कलर से बना दिया. जस्ट बिफोर ओपनिंग आई एम मार्किंग इट विद अ ग्रीन कलर्ड पेन. कैन यू सी इट्स अ लिटिल फैट compared to the posterior part? See the posterior part. Now let me draw that with blue. See the posterior part. And see this posterior part. They are thin, they are narrow. This is called the ampulla of Vater. It is dilated. So just before opening, it is dilated, which is called the ampulla of Vater. You should not forget it. In yesterday's class, I had also asked you for some names. And I told you that I will give you a prize. Yes, everybody. So sphincter of common bile duct. Common bile duct का नाम होता है duct of Boyden. Right? Yesterday's class, you remember the question? Everybody, are you saying yes? Yes. Pancreas की जो main duct होता है, उसका नाम होता है duct of Wirsung. MCQ, main pancreatic duct, duct of Wirsung. Right? Main bile duct, duct of Boyden. Correct? When both of them meet, they dilate, ampulla of Vater. Right? And then the constriction is known as sphincter of OD. Moving ahead to the next question. Identify the correct set which shows the name of the enzymes from where it is secreted and substrate upon which it acts. Correct? बताइए कहां से correct enzyme secrete हो रही है और कौन सा वो substrate है जिसके ऊपर ये काम करती है. बताइए. पेप्सिन स्टमक वॉल, केजिन. अच्छा, सबसे पहले ये बताइए, टाइलिन इंटेस्टाइन से आएगी? नो, टाइलिन इज इन द माउथ. कीमोट्रिप्सिन सलाइवरी ग्लैंड से आ जाएगी? नो, कीमोट्रिप्सिन विल कम फ्रॉम द पैंक्रियास इन इनएक्टिव फॉर्म, कीमोट्रिप्सिनोजन. क्या टाइलिन पैंक्रियास से आ जाएगी? नो, टाइलिन विल कम फ्रॉम सलाइवरी अमाइलेज. इट विल एक्ट ऑन स्टार्च. इज दैट क्लियर? राइट? सो पेप्सिनोजन है. पेप्सिन जो एडल्ट्स में मिल्क के ऊपर काम करेगी, क्योंकि बच्चों में मिल्क के ऊपर काम करने के लिए होती है रेनिन. Correct, but pepsin will digest all proteins. Activated by hydrochloric acid, secreted in inactive form by the gastric glands of stomach, secreted in the form of pepsinogen, will be converted under the influence of hydrochloric acid into pepsin, will digest proteins for you. Amylase will be secreted by the salivary glands. Is that clear? Gastric juice has a pH of about, is it 5 or 6? No. See, actually 1 to 2 correct hona chahiye. Don't you agree with me? Right? Because I told you, but dono options hain. So we will, it's low, it's acidic pH. The correct option should be 1 to 2. Right? In some books, it is even mentioned up to 3, but that's a little higher level for gastric juice. It's extremely acidic. It's hydrochloric acid, so it should be 1 to 2. Any doubts? Right? Cholecystokinin, as you are aware, is a gastrointestinal hormone which is secreted by duodenum in response to the presence of food. Why? Because the stomach is because of the gastric hormone. This is extremely, extremely acidic. इतना एसिडिक है कि कोलसिस्टोकाइनिन सिक्रीट होता है जैसे ही फूड आगे मूव करता है, और लिवर और पैंक्रियास को अपना सिक्रीशन भेजना पड़ता है because the stomach secretes extremely acidic food because of hydrochloric acid. So therefore the pH has to be around 1 to 2. Any doubts? Any doubts? Are you all understanding? Cool. Nice. Next question on your screen, please. Food bolus after passing through alkaline medium is. So the bolus is nothing but food plus saliva in the mouth. Let's use a nice bright colored pen. Food plus saliva in the mouth is referred to as bolus. Once it comes to the stomach, it becomes acidic. It's called as chyme. Once it goes into the alkaline medium in the intestine, it becomes chyle. So bolus is in the mouth, chyme is in the stomach, which is acidic, and finally it will become your chyle, which is alkaline. Right, everybody? The normal pH range of saliva is considered from 5.6 to 7.9. It's slightly on the basic range, right? Slightly on the base. If it's 5.6, it's acidic. When is it acidic? When it is not secreting carbonate ions, when it's not secreting amylase, when it's not secreting ptyalin. Only then. Otherwise, it is bolus is basic. So यहाँ पे कौन आ रहा है? Mouth से bolus. Stomach के part को हम क्या कहते हैं? Absolutely right. Chyme, which is acidic, and in the intestine it's called chyle, which is basic. Next question on your screen. If pancreas is removed, pancreas हटा दीजिए, procarboxypeptidase, chymotrypsinogen, trypsinogen हटा दीजिए. The compound which will remain undigested is it proteins, is it fats, carbohydrates, or all of these? Yes? So the answer has to be proteins basically, because trypsin, chymotrypsin are basically protein. ये तो फिर भी this can happen through succus entericus, the intestinal juice. Some part of its starch can happen in the mouth, but the one which will remain undigested, pepsin and chymotrypsin, basically will be for digestion of proteins. Trypsin and chymotrypsin are secreted by the pancreas. Otherwise, if pancreas are removed, it could lead to diabetes mellitus because insulin nahi hoga. Is that clear? Pancreas, therefore, is a very, very, very important gland of the human body. You already know it's a heterocrine gland. It's both exocrine and endocrine. The endocrine secretions are directly secreted into the blood. You have islets of Langerhans, and the exocrine plant is because of acinus. So digestion of starch or carbohydrate initiate कहाँ हो जाता है? Mouth में. I told you just now. फिर भी salivary amylase कुछ काम कर देगा. Ptyalin कुछ काम कर देगा. Enzymatic hydrolysis helps in partial breakdown of starch into maltose and isomaltose. थोड़े से dextrins हो जाएंगे. But right, क्यों पूरा digest नहीं होता? Like we discussed in yesterday's class, पूरा digest क्यों नहीं होता starch mouth में? Because it remains for a very short period of time. Pancreas is very important because pancreas will secrete chymotrypsinogen. Pancreas will secrete trypsinogen, which is responsible for protein digestion. Is that clear? Any doubts? Anything that you've not been able to understand? Last few questions. Enzyme present in saliva has to be ptyalin. Exactly. इसलिए previous में भी maltase, sucrose, invertase, no, the one which is present is ptyalin, along which is also known as salivary amylase. इसके अलावा you all know the answer. What else is present? What else? Yes, lysozyme, जो कि मैं दोबारा detail में करवा चुकी हूँ. And lysozyme is very, very important because ये antibacterial है, and ptyalin helps in starch digestion. We've just done it. See this. राइट, टाइलिन, एंजाइम टाइलिन salivary amylase, ये स्टार्च को डिग्रेड करती है, पॉलीसैकेराइड को माल्टोज और आइसोमाल्टोज में कन्वर्ट करती है. अगर कभी क्वेश्चन आ गया व्हाई कंप्लीटली मोनोसैकेराइड्स क्यों नहीं बन रहे, पॉलीसैकेराइड व्हाई इज इट कन्वर्टेड इनटू माल्टोज एंड आइसोमाल्टोज, दैट इज डाइसैकेराइड. दैट मींस पॉलीसैकेराइड जो है वो सिर्फ डाइसैकेराइड तक ही बन के क्यों रह गए, मोनोसैकेराइड क्यों नहीं बने? बिकॉज इट इज इन द माउथ फॉर अ वेरी शॉर्ट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. Right, immediately we swallow the food and it goes into the esophagus and then reaches the stomach. और stomach का pH क्या होता है? Stomach का pH is acidic, जहां पे salivary amylase काम करना बंद कर देती है because of the acidic pH. Is that clear? So amylase is a starch digesting enzyme, right, which is present in the mouth. Intestinal bacteria भी cellulose को digest करने में काम हमारी थोड़ी सी मदद करते हैं. Moving on to the last question for today. Which of the following is correct pairing of the site of action and the substrate of renin? Is it in the mouth and acts on starch? No. Is it in the small intestine, acts on proteins? It's not chymotrypsin, trypsin. Is it in the stomach, acts on fats? No, it is in the stomach. It acts on casein. Therefore, it's referred to as the milk curdling enzyme. What is it called? It's called the milk curdling enzyme. It's present in infants. It's also present in calves. From there, we take it out and we make rennet cheese out of it. So the correct answer has to be stomach, and casein is the correct answer of renin. You also know the other renin, R-E-N-I-N. In every question I'm repeating this. Do not get confused. हो सकता है दो बार options में कुछ ऐसा दे दे और आप confused हो जाए. That is a renin angiotensin aldosterone system. So with that, my dear children, we come to the end of another phenomenal session. And I'm so happy, so impressed to see your typing, to see how well you are doing in physiology. You know physiology is very important. 40% of the questions are going to come from the singular most important topic. Stay connected. Keep coming for all the classes. The next 2-3 classes, again, we'll be focusing only on human physiology, which is very important. Don't worry about the tough topics. Also, like Animal Kingdom, we are coming with classes on that. So till I see you again, my dear children, don't keep thinking, dreaming, worrying unnecessarily. Just keep working. Make sure you work very hard. You've got to realize your dreams. So with that, I'll come to the end of today's session. Bye-bye. I'll see you all in the next class. Take care. Study very hard. If there are any doubts, any problems, anything that you want a personal attention for or personal guidance, please leave it behind on the comment section. I'll see you again. Bye.